All right, today is May the 7th, Thursday, and this is Graphic Design 2, GRD 142. We're going to be discussing our final assignment, which is a publication. It's going to be 8 pages, and I've also got some really great examples of cover pages here, just as a guide. I want you to build your own cover page, though. I don't want you to go find one and pop it in, because this is what it's all about, understanding how to build a cover page. So these are just some examples I put in for different kinds of magazines. There's a couple of articles in this assignment that are good to read about page layout elements and magazine structure. Hopefully you've all had a chance to look over those. There's also this really good video. It takes about 5 minutes and it's very good. Take a look at this one for sure. Video layout and composition. And here is the assignment. So let's pull it out a little bit, make it bigger. Oops. All right, so first thing, this is the template folder. Inside this template folder, I'll go ahead and download it, and I'll show you what's inside of it. Save to the desktop. And once I get that open, or once it loads, I'll get back on that. But you're going to be using InDesign to create an 8-page publication. You're going to use a template that is attached, which I just downloaded. And template is attached. Okay, and the directions for each page are right here in the assignment. You can pick any theme magazine that you choose. It could be sports, gaming, health, fashion, food, news, entertainment, medical, or professional. If you have something else in mind, you're very welcome to choose something else. And you're going to have 8 completed pages. You're going to design the front cover. The inside front cover, I've attached, there is an ad inside the InDesign document for that. You can resize it and fit it, or you can make your own ad, or you can find another ad online already done to pop in there that might fit your theme better. I chose a kind of a fashion layout for the template, so that's what those ads are going to look like. You're going to have to create a table of contents. I know there's not much in it, it's just 8 pages, but just get creative, use some imagery, highlight your cover story and the article that you're going to need to create on page 6. So 4, 5, and 6 are basically what's going to be on the table of contents. Inside back cover is an ad. It's also included. The back cover is an ad. It's also included. And I'm going to walk you through how to set up master pages just for the page numbers. That's all we need for this one. So let's go in and find my template folder right here. Double click. And here it is. So in here, I've packaged it. It's got everything it needs. It's got its links. It's got the fonts. And I'm going to go ahead and open up the InDesign file. This assignment will also be graded based on a rubric that Ms. Fisher created, and it's right here. I'm going to open that so we can kind of walk you through that. Here it is. All right, so when I grade this assignment, these are the points that will be assigned. So grammar and spelling, very important. Proficient, novice, developing. These are the 3 categories. So if you're not checking your spelling, you're going to get a 0 on that section of it, grammar and spelling. If you've checked your spelling and everything looks good, you get the 13 points. Assignment requirements, meaning did you fulfill what was requested in the assignment, meaning did you fill the pages with information? Did you do columns and headlines and all of the different things that are required for a magazine? There are 3 novice, developing, and proficient categories there. And design quality, I think that's probably one of the most important things. How is it going to look? Does it look great, or does it look like you didn't try? So that's a big one, 31 points right there. And the reason we're using a rubric on this one, a lot of teachers use rubrics on all of their assignments, is because we need to have a way to evaluate student improvement, and that's how we're going to do it with this one. So do the very, very best. And you can see the rubric in the assignment, so you can see what the details are. This is just a screenshot. All right, I'm just waiting for my InDesign document to open. Come on, come on, come on, come on. If you're wondering why I have Barry Manilow pictures all over my desktop, that's because I'm making a Mother's Day gift for my boyfriend's mom. She is a Barry Manilow fan, and I'm going to put her in a picture with Barry Manilow and make it look like they're actually together. Sorry it's taken so long. InDesign is just the slowest program. Desktop. Come on, InDesign. People are waiting. I don't need Photoshop. Don't need that, don't need that. Sometimes it helps if you shut down other programs that you're not using. Beautiful job on the postcards, guys, and the brochures. I'm very impressed. I'll probably be posting some of those to Facebook, to our FTCC Graphic Design Club site this afternoon. Seeing some huge improvements. And that's good news. It really is, because since we're online and it's all changed, it's nice to see that you're keeping on top of things and not slacking. You know, you're doing a really great job. Looks like it's going to open sometime today. Oh my goodness. Okay, finally. Negative, command negative. Why won't you? Okay, command plus. All right, so as you can see, we've got 8 pages. I don't know what Barry Manilow's doing in there. That is not the right one. Dang it. Let's just delete that. I'll have to fix that. We have 8 pages. We have a cover page, inside, front, table of contents, the cover story spread, which is 2 pages, an article page, so you'll have 3 pages basically, and then the front cover and the table of contents. Inside back, I've supplied you with an ad for that, and the back cover also. There's an ad. If you want to use these, you're welcome to, but if you're doing a gaming magazine, you might want to find a better ad that fits the theme of your magazine. And all you have to do is go to the front. All you have to do is get rid of this. Just delete it. Get rid of that. Pull up the magazine. You can use bleeds or not. I would probably use bleeds in a fashion magazine. So I'm going to pull that image, the frame of the image, all the way out to the bleeds, and then go to the top and fit proportionately. Looks a little pixely, so I can fix that by just going to display performance, high quality. I made sure when I picked these that they were large images. So before you even find an image, make sure you go to tools and large. Make sure that image is large. So we'll go page by page. Let me throw in the example of the cover that I had. Just a second, I'm playing a file right now. It's on my desktop. It's in that folder I just downloaded. Where is it? Publication folder. There we go. It's in my links folder. And where is it? The cover. Oops, excuse me. Hey, hon. I'm good, hon. I'm in a session. Can I call you right back? All right, bye. Okay. I don't know where my cover went. Anyway, there's a lot of examples online that you can use as a reference. So the things to include in your cover, on your cover, are the title of the magazine. It could be Cosmopolitan or whatever you choose, whatever magazine you're going to create. You can make one up if you want. You can find a logo on Google to use, and if you find one that is a transparent PNG file, it'll be easier to put backgrounds behind it to where it looks professional. You can also take a logo that you find online and manipulate it in Adobe Illustrator or Photoshop to change the colors, etc. We want to have a date line, issue, and edition information like all magazines have. You want to feature whatever image you're using on the front cover is going to be probably related to your cover story, which is the 2-page spread on page 4 and 5. And you're going to want to put that information like the feature story, the title of the story on the front cover. And you also would want to put some additional what they call cover mentions for the other article that's inside the magazine. Barcode is optional. That's kind of a lot of magazines have barcodes on them. So let's take a look at that real quick in here. There we go. So right here, there's a good example here. Foodie, the logo, the name of the magazine. It's got a date and an issue here at the bottom. It's got a barcode. It's got a global grape guide, whatever that is. That must be the cover story. Or inside fresh pasta ideas, barbecue, light bites, the best pork bacons. Sports Illustrated is very exciting, has an exciting cover. The typography is beautiful. So you might go into Photoshop and do some work for the cover, like put the little boy in front of the title. But these are cover mentions, the smaller text, and then this is your main cover story text right here. It's all about this young man right here. And if I opened this magazine and went to the page 13 usually, that would be the cover story, which would highlight what this is all about. This is a beautiful image on this one. Nice cover mentions, a whole lot different than their examples. It's more colorful. It's got some different font choices. Men's Health, very nice. Meet your new Captain America. And so that's the cover story, page 14 right here. It tells you where to go to see what this is all about. Fashion magazines are beautiful. And there's lots and lots of those. And here's an entertainment magazine. So it's up to you. It could be a gaming magazine. It's totally up to you what you do with this. So we'll create the cover page. This is the inside. Let's do W, the inside front page. And what it says here, let's get rid of that ad. The inside front cover is always reserved for advertising. It's the second most expensive ad page. The next page would be the table of contents. Look up some table of contents. Here's a little example here. I know there's not much in this magazine because it's only 8 pages, and you've got a cover story and an article that you're going to be laying out. But you could do something. It's just 1 page. You could do a couple of pictures. You can make stuff up if you want to add to if you need to add more text. Cover story is a 2-page spread. All the margins are already set for you. There's a bleed if you want to use it. So you definitely need to put a header or title. Images to represent. You could even use 1 page, could be a whole image, and just use the other page for some columns of text. I would recommend using at least 3 columns. because reading needs to be in short spurts. You don't want to read across the entire page. That's just not how it's done in a magazine. Page numbers, of course, and I'll walk you through that in a minute. This page, page 6, is another article. So you're going to have your cover story 2-page spread, and then you're going to have another article relating to the theme of your magazine. Same thing here, article title, some text, and your choice of images to represent the subject of the article. Next, inside back. This is the third most expensive ad page in the magazine. So when you go to the back of the very last page you're looking at is going to be the inside back cover. The ad is right here. All you have to do is get rid of this information, resize the ad, and fit proportionately, and that's done. Same thing on the back cover. This is the most expensive ad page. Because everybody sees it. So that's why I picked Tiffany and Company, because they're a high-class company and their products are expensive. So I used this page to highlight a company that could afford to buy this space. So same thing here. The ad is included. Just resize it to fit all the way to the bleed. Pull all those edges all the way to that red line. Fit proportionately. And that's it. And of course, don't forget to get rid of this text. All this text needs to go away. You end up with that. All right, any questions before I start on the layout of how to maybe find that logo and things like that? All right. So I'm doing a fashion magazine. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Safari or wherever, Google, whichever search engine you're using. And here we go. You're also welcome to write your own articles. But it's just copy and paste, basically. So let's see. Fashion magazine logo. I'm going to go to images. I'm going to go to tools, and I'm going to go to large. I don't want a tiny, tiny logo that's going to look all pixelated when I enlarge it. So I want to start out just by going and trying to pick a large one to start with. Vogue is a beautiful logo. Looks like it's pretty simple, just a word. So let me I think I'll go with Vogue. So I'm going to refine my search to Vogue logo. And let's see, they have an option right here, transparent. And let's see if I can find one without a background. And if I can't, this is an easy logo to vectorize and change the color, do whatever you want with. So let me click on that one. All right, looks like it's got a little spot in the middle, but that's okay. It's 2400 pixels wide, so I know that's a nice big image. I'm going to grab it and drag it to my desktop. I do not want to drag it right into my folder because you'll see, and I'll show you real quick. I'm sorry, into my document. Sometimes it doesn't work when you do that. See how it came in? It's really strange. Also, if I drug it in, I wouldn't have a link. And we definitely need to have links in our package file. So let me move all this stuff away. I'll just put this on the side so I'll have it for later to make sure I'm getting everything included. Because in that rubric, if you're not including all of this information, you're going to get points off. So I'm going to go ahead and File, Place, Command D. I'm going to go to my desktop where I just popped that logo and see if I can find it. There it is. It says it's transparent, but we'll see in a minute. It's not working at all. Oh, there it is. Okay. So there's my transparent PNG Vogue logo. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and try to find a Vogue magazine cover. just for reference, so I can see how they do it. That's a nice one. This one, I don't have to worry about the size because I'm just using it for a reference. I love Rihanna. And also, I'm just going to go ahead and drag it to the side on the desktop and go ahead and Command D for place. Find my magazine cover, draw myself a little box, and there's my example that I could follow. There's like you can see, there's tons of different styles, different ways to do it. They're changing the color on most of these. There's a beautiful red one right there. So you pick the one that you want to kind of mimic. So I can see from that this Vogue logo is too small. The way they use their Vogue logo is pretty, it fills the whole thing. So maybe something like that. And move it over so it's centered properly. All right, next thing I got to think about, what is my cover story going to be about? And that's where the thought process, the thinking comes in. So I've got the title of the magazine. Go ahead and put a date line on here. Just draw myself a text box, and let's say it is May 2020, issue 5. Let's select that and go right align. I'll probably change the font, but that's good enough for now. And let's say I want to put a barcode on here. Let's go ahead and find a barcode. Looks like a good one right there. Drag it to my desktop. It's really big, so I'm going to make sure to place it correctly. Command D for place. Drop it in. If I want to resize it, holding my Shift key down, resizing the barcode, and fitting it proportionately. So now I have a barcode. Additional cover mentions. Okay, barcode, issue. So cover story. So I'm trying to think, what could my cover story be? I'm feeling a shift. I'm growing up Rihanna on fearlessness, Fenty, and finding love. So this is it's up to you, whatever you want to put on here. I'm just going to go ahead and kind of play around with some ideas. So fashion magazine article. Beauty tips, fashion trends, and celebrity something. Ooh, that's a beautiful picture. So I'm looking for an article, but there's nothing there. All right, let's try again. In fact, I think I'll do, what the heck? I'll do it on Barry Manilow. Kind of old school, but see what I can find. Images, tools, large. Definitely need a large one. So I want to find an image that's going to look good on the front of a magazine. It's got his whole head in there. I kind of like that one. See how big it is. It's big enough. So drag it over on the desktop. Go back to my magazine cover. File. Where is he? There he is. So I could use that one, or any of these. But I kind of like the white space on this one. So I'm going to open that one. And I'm going to draw a box from the bleed top left. Just like that. He's not fitting exactly like I want him to, so I'm just going to pull this box up to fit the, and I'm going to fit him proportionately, just like that. Make him go in the background, object, arrange, send to back. So I can already see here that this may not work. So I'm going to use my direct selection tool to click inside the image, and I'm going to use my down arrow to drop him down a little bit. So this is telling me if I'm going to use this image, I'm going to have to take it into Photoshop, and I'm going to have to cut out the white background. And you all should, everybody kind of knows how to do that, right? Or do you want me to show you? Demo, please. Roger that. All right, so I've got my image in my magazine, and I don't have to open that image from my desktop in Photoshop. I can actually click on the image. I can open up my links palette. This is what's great about links. And as you can see, the Barry Manilow image is right here in my links. If I drop down this little menu here, I can edit the actual photo with whatever program I want to edit it with. So I'm going to edit it with Photoshop. And it's going to automatically open the image in Photoshop. And it's just going to take a minute. Here we go. And if you take my Photoshop class this summer, it's an advanced Photoshop class, but the first module is just going to be refreshing you on how to do things like this. This is really, really important stuff to know how to do. I just hope this image works so I don't look like a fool when I'm demonstrating. That's a beautiful picture. Also, this session is being recorded, so if you have things to do and you want to watch it later, you're very welcome to do that. I appreciate all of you that did show up, but it will be recorded for review if you need to look at it later. So the reason I'm going to take the background away from Barry Manilow's picture is so I can put him in front of the logo, just like the Rihanna example right here. And he should never have had plastic surgery, just a heads up. I don't know why people do that. Makes them look like kind of monsters. All right, looks pretty good. It's a nice big image. But I guess when you're an entertainer and you're getting old, you know, we all, as we get older, we all see ourselves in a different way. But as an entertainer, I guess they feel the need to stay youthful. But sometimes it doesn't work too well. Mickey Rourke did a horrible job on his plastic surgery. He looks terrible. All right, here we go. Unlock the layer. Over here in the layers palette. That's going to give me access to it. All right, first, I don't need those. I do need my layers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mask the background out of this guy. So I'm going to try the magic wand to start with, which is W for, and I'm going to click. And as you can see, it's selecting most of the white on the side here. And now I'm going to click on the other side, and it's selecting all of the white here. It's not selecting his shirt, which is perfect. I didn't want it to, but it's also leaving a white edge around him, which I could probably refine a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I've got all these marching ants have the white selected. So I'm going to go up here to select, and I'm going to go to similar and see if it helps. No, it didn't. Command Z. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep it just like this, and I'll probably clean up his hair just a little bit. So in order to mask this out, I could actually delete, and it would go away, but we never want to delete something. We always want to put a mask. A mask enables you to go back in and fix anything if there's a mistake. So if I want to mask him out, I have to select the inverse of the marching ants. So only Barry Manilow is selected. Do you see that? The marching ants are now around him. And I'm going to push the add layer mask to this layer, and it gets rid of his background. What's good about that, and I cannot stress this enough, if I click inside this mask and get my brush tool, and let's say I'm using my bracket left to go smaller, I can also right click and make the brush harder because I don't want it soft. So let's say I'm cleaning and I make a mistake. If I were deleting this with an eraser, I would never be able to bring it back. I'd have to start all over again. But because I have a mask on my layer, I can flip these colors around, put white up front, and I can bring that back. Without the mask, it will not come back. It's gone forever. So I need to clean up the back of his hair a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and put another layer, and I'm going to fill it with black. Edit, fill, and I want to make it black, and click OK. And I'm going to drag that layer underneath Barry Manilow so I can see all this mess around his hair. I'm not going to work out the rest of him just yet because I'm going to have a white background on my magazine, but I do want to clean up his hair a little bit. So I'm going to click inside the mask one more time. I know if I have black up front in my color swatch, it's going to erase, right? If I have white up front, it's going to bring it back. So I want black up front. I'm going to use my bracket left key to go small. I'm also going to right click and make this a little bit softer. And I'm just going to go around his hair. And it's not going to be perfect because this is a demonstration. I need it to be a little bit harder because I'm losing his ear. I'm going to zoom in. B for brush, black up front, bracket left, go small. Just going to clean up around his head. Using my space bar for a hand tool, I'm going to go a little bit bigger here. And a little bit softer again. Hair is really difficult. There's definitely easy ways to do hair, but I'm just doing this as a quick demonstration, just to get rid of the junk around his hair, the little white bits. And just take me a second. I don't mean to take all this time, but it's good to know. So just making it look like it's supposed to look, getting rid of the little white bits. I'm going to drop the size down, make it a little bit harder when I get around his ear. Just getting rid of that white. There we go. Command 0 takes me back to full size. All right, now I'm going to get rid of this or hide this layer. Looks like I might have done something here that I didn't mean to do. Hold on a minute. Yeah, see there? I erased some of his head. So because I have a mask, I can flip my white to the front, get my B for brush, and bring that back. If I had deleted it, it wouldn't have worked. Command 0. All right, so I'm happy with that. It looks pretty good. I think it's going to work. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to save as a Photoshop file. Call it Barry. Go into my desktop, click on Save, click OK. And now I'm going to minimize, go back to my magazine, and I'm going to replace this image because this is the original JPEG. So let me, I've got the link highlighted. I'm going to relink. I'm going to go to my desktop. I should have put it in my folder, but I didn't. And let's see, where is he? Right there. Click Open. So he's going to be replaced. And now if I move him to the front or move the Vogue logo to the back, in fact, I'll do the Vogue logo to the back. Object, arrange, send to back. So now he's on top of the logo without the white background. I don't have to worry about all these little extra bits because I'm using a white background. So Now, one more trick while we're here. Since I've got this Photoshop file here in my link palette, I'm going to show you what we can do while we're in InDesign. This is good stuff to know. I'm going to go back to Edit with Photoshop. It's going to open up Barry one more time, and I want to show you what happens when you edit something from InDesign and save it, and then go back into your InDesign document. So let's bring the black up front, right bracket key to make it big. I'm going to get rid of his head, just for an example. And I'm going to save. Now I'm going to go back to InDesign and watch what happens. It automatically updated my Photoshop file. So he's missing a head, which isn't good. But I'm going to go back in and Command Z, bring his head back, and save again. Go back to my InDesign, and you're going to see his head's back. Okay. It's supposed to work. It doesn't want to work. Okay, anyway, I'm just going to relink it. It's supposed to update, but it didn't. Anyway, there we go. So now I've got Barry Manilow, I've got the logo, I've got the issue date. I want to go ahead and push that to the margin to be absolutely perfect. And push W to see what it's looking like. It's looking pretty good. If I wanted to change the color of this logo, I could definitely take it into Illustrator, and I'll do that for you too. Real quick, click on that logo. It's in my links palette. Let's go to Edit with Adobe Illustrator while we're in here. There we go. So I'm going to change it to red, or I don't know, some other color, maybe gray, maybe white. No, probably not white. I can't do it in InDesign though because it's a ping, it's a PNG, it's not a vector. If it were a vector, I could change it in InDesign. But instead, I'm opening it with Illustrator. I'm going to go ahead and do an image trace on it while I'm in there and make it a different color, and save it and relink it once I get back into InDesign. And if you have any other questions while we're doing this, please ask. I'd be happy to demonstrate anything that you have questions with. Hello? All right, here we go. Where is it? Oh, geez Louise. Edit with Illustrator. You could also edit with Photoshop and just put a color overlay on it if you wanted to. If you wanted a darker background for the color, you would go into that Barry Manilow image and let's see, Barry. Edit with, go back into that Photoshop file. Small brush, probably a little bit nice hard brush here. I wanted to put a dark background behind him. It's going to take me some Photoshop work. So I'm going to bring that black background back so I can see what's going on. I'm going to get my brush tool, and this, I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to show you what I would do. I'd have to go around. I'm holding my shift key, click. Hold shift, click. It gives you nice straight lines, click, click. I would have to go in and manually clean this guy up. So click one time, hold shift. Shift keeps a nice straight line when you're cleaning things up. Click one time, hold shift, click again, hold shift. Keeping shift held down will give you that nice clean edge. I also need to pay attention to these little tiny bits that are not on the edge because those will stand out on a black background. So this is going to take a little time. There's also the other option of I could have maybe found Barry Manilow as a transparent PNG and eliminated any need for masking. but as long as I'm here, I may as well do it. So I'm just going to do that little part, and I'm going to go save, and I'm going to close Photoshop. Wow, everything is so slow today. It's crazy. All right, so let's put, oh, I forgot to do the background. Dang it. I forgot to hide the background. Okay, well, anyway, I would have hidden that black background, but now you can see if I chose to put a black background behind Barry Manilow, because I cleaned it up in my mask, my layer mask, it looks good. But let's go back in one more time and get rid of that black background, edit with Photoshop. Because I want the background, I want to put that in InDesign. I don't need to put it in my Photoshop document. Come on. All right, there's Illustrator. I just want to do the Photoshop part real quick. I'm so sorry this is going so slow. My apologies. Photoshop, please open. All right, since we've got Illustrator open, Photoshop will be back on track in just a second. Command negative, negative, negative. Here's my logo. I'm going to go ahead and do an image trace. It's just black and white, so it shouldn't have to be anything major. It's already done. Click OK. It's a really big image, so it's taking a little time. I should have shrunk it down a bit. Cancel. All right, so my image trace is done. I'm going to go ahead and expand. Command Y tells me I now have a vector image. I'm going to go in, get my group selection, click on that white and that white. I'm going to go ahead and make my artboard the same size as my logo, because if I don't, when I bring it into my InDesign document, it's going to be off the artboard, so I'm not going to get the whole logo. So now I'm going to file save. Logo, put it on my desktop as an Illustrator file. And let me take a look at that Barry Manilow cover real quick, see what color I might want to do this Vogue. Let's just do it, I don't know, any color. Let's just click on that image and let's just make it, I don't know. Oh, we'll make it green. What the heck? It's not going to match, but oh, it doesn't want to do green. Isn't that weird how that happens sometimes? Window, swatches. Let's get some swatches loaded here. Open swatch library, default art and illustration. Come on, there we go. Now that works. Sometimes it doesn't work when you double click in this fill box, but it does work if you open up your swatches panel. So let's try, we could do a gradient. Let's do a gradient. No, let's make it red. Okay, so now I'm going to save again because I changed the color. And I'm going to minimize because I don't want to start Illustrator again. See if my Photoshop document's open. Yes, it is. I'm hiding the background. Save. Minimize. Back to my InDesign file. Automatically updated it without the background. So I'm going to update the Vogue logo now. with my new Illustrator file. It's currently the transparent ping I downloaded from the internet. So I'm going to tell it to relink, and I'm going to go find that Illustrator file and relink that to be in the document. It's not showing right now because it's too big for the box, so I'm going to fit proportionately. Double click on the anchor, it expands the box, and now I can use my shift key to keep the box in the right proportions and fit. There we go. Bring back, Command Option 3, bring back Barry. Let me hide him, pull this logo up just a little bit. There we go. Bring it back. Now we're going to do that background like Cheryl was asking. So I'm going to go all the way to the bleed lines. And fill it with a color. Let's just do blue. Now it's on top of everything, so I need to object arrange, send to back. So now if I push W to hide my guides, you can see where I cleaned him looks pretty good. Where I didn't clean him looks terrible. So that's what the detail masking will help eliminate all these little bits of white around him. And it does take a little time. So that's something. Picking your images, you need to find one that you know that you have the skills to figure out how to make it work. His hair doesn't look that great, but I could always go back into Photoshop and clean that up a little bit. But we're getting the bones on the bones, or the pieces are all getting together on the cover page. So next we need a cover story title. Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you. So I'm going to draw a box using my margins, and I'll just make it big for now. So let's say, what's Barry up to nowadays? In 2020. Let's make it bigger. Command T brings up my character palette. Let's make it big. What's Barry up to in 2020? I'd probably change that font, and I might even make 2020 bigger, giving it some emphasis. What's Barry a lowercase up to in 2020? I'm going to grab all that text and tighten up that leading. Not that tight. What's Barry up to? And I'm thinking, because I've got different sizes of text, I'm going to put those in two separate boxes. So I just cut 2020 out of there, and I'm pasting it into a new box. What's Barry up to in 2020? I can make it white. I can do whatever I want with it. Different font choice. So this is the cover story. I'm going to duplicate this little text box, copy paste, and I'm going to put the page number, which is 4 and 5. But we don't have to say 4 and 5. We just need to tell them where to go, page 4. I could also put something like go to Safari and type in this issue. See what comes up in the images. Get some ideas. In this issue, look inside. That's kind of cool. I like that one. Drag it desktop. Back to InDesign. File place. Command D. Where's that little thing at? I just drug it to. There it is. Look inside. It's a PNG. Hopefully it's a clear PNG. And there it is. No, it's not. So I would probably have to take that into Illustrator, vectorize it, change the color if I chose to. In fact, I'll do it right now. Edit with Adobe Illustrator. Go ahead and do an image trace. It's only 3 colors, black, white, and blue. So let's see if a 2-color works. No, it doesn't. Command Z. I'm going to drop this down and tell it to do 3 colors. That's better. Now currently it is an image, but once I click expand, it is now a vector. Group selection tool allows me to pick up what I don't want, which is the black right here. I can also change the blue to, I think I'll change it to, let's see the colors again. I think I'll change it to red, just like the other stuff. I also see that there's some little bits of blue here, so I'm holding my shift key while I select those, make them red, and go ahead and save as an Illustrator file right here. Look in AI, going to my desktop, click OK, minimize Illustrator. I don't really need that anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and Command D for place. I'm going to find that new one that I just did, which is the red one, the Illustrator file. I'm going to click Open, and I'm going to draw myself a little box. So now I have this cool little graphic that I could put anywhere. Or I could put it right here. I can make it different colors. Look inside, and I can maybe have page 4 right here. Maybe I'll put a drop shadow on this. Object, effects, drop shadow. Okay. I can even put a drop shadow on Barry if I want to. Let's see if that works. Object, effects. I could do a drop shadow in Photoshop, or I can do a drop shadow in InDesign because it is a Photoshop file. I could also, I can't get to this logo, so every time I click on the logo, it's picking up Barry. So hide, Command 3. Now I get to the logo, object, effects, drop shadow. So now I'm giving it a little depth, a little interest, and I might have even changed this to a yellow. Or maybe I'll move it down here. W, that's going to show me what it's going to look like at the end. So it's getting there. I don't like this font at all, so I'll definitely work on that. And I will add. I'm just going to duplicate that text, making sure I'm lining up with my margins. And down here, I might put what the other article is going to be about. It's not going to be about Barry. He's the cover story. So, excuse me. So I need to figure out what the other article is, and then I would put the title on the front cover and maybe the page number again, and I would make this one maybe a little smaller, maybe a different font. All right, and duplicate this by click, Option Shift, drag. The other story is going to be on page 7. So now it's almost, it's getting there. You can add anything you want to this magazine cover to make it your own. All right, any questions on the cover so far? Awesome. Okay. All right, so the cover's not finished, but this is the fun part of our job, is coming up with something really cool. And use something as a reference. If you want to do something with Rihanna, with the beautiful background like we had earlier, do it. Just, that's what it's all about, figuring out how to make that happen. So there's our cover, done. Inside front is going to be an ad. Let's go ahead and just grab another ad real quick. Copy. And paste. So this part, like I said, you can get as creative as you want. You can build your own ad, you can find your own ads, or you can use the ad that I have provided. Table of contents, so that page is done. If we're going to use free pick and things like that, and make sure you don't have the copyright symbols and things on your images. You have to take those into different programs and get rid of those. Table of contents, we already know what's on the cover. So what's Barry up to in 2020 and other article. I'm just going to copy that using my space bar to move. Keep that on the side so I can see it. I'm going to get rid of that. Now, you could put like in this issue, on the cover, something like this. Look up some different references for yourselves. You need to include the page numbers of where the stories are. So I'm going to paste that info just so I've got it. And maybe I'll make a text box. In fact, I don't want table of contents. That's kind of boring. I might do in this issue. That would be more modern. So I'm just going to start out maybe with a 2 column. Up here I can choose the columns. Where is it at? Let me pull this out. Sometimes you can't see what you need to see. Columns. What am I, blind? Huh. It should be up here. I'm not understanding why it's not. Pull it out just a little bit more. I don't see it. Oh, there it is. Duh. 2 columns, 3 columns, 4 columns, 5 columns, however many columns you want. I probably wouldn't go any more than 4. But on a table of contents, you may just want 1 column. But I'm going to put 2 columns, and I'm going to put what's Barry up to in 2020. I could even use this same thing. In fact, I will. Let's get rid of that. I could do this. I could take his title, the page number. I could even take the picture, copy, paste, and maybe hold my shift key down and shrink that box down and fit proportionately. Move him over. Probably go ahead and use the bleed. Move all this stuff out of the way. Maybe push him all the way to the bleed. So if I push W, that's what I'm going to see. It could be just some really random looking table of contents, kind of like collage. What's Barry up to in 2020? I want to have the page number, so I'm going to grab that, copy, and paste. Page 4. Okay. So on the other article, I might have other article here, but I'll probably keep the text the same, and then an image representing what I'm going to have on the other article. Something either the same as the image you're going to use or something relevant to the image that you're going to use. And then I might put in a couple of fictitious pieces that aren't included in the magazine just because we need to fill space. So filling the space is what it's all about. And I would play around with that, making sure everything's on the margins, up to the margins, it's nicely aligned. So this example is a nice one. A lot of different articles in here, but I love how they did their page numbers. They're really big. So there's so many different ways you could style it, really. Lots of different ways. I could also maybe put him, maybe I want to put him in a circle. Let's do that. Get my ellipse tool, hold my shift key down, draw myself a circle, grab Barry. I'm going to cut him, Command X, and I'm going to click on that circle, and I'm going to go to Edit, Paste Into. I'm going to fit proportionately, and now he's in a circle. I can drop him down with my direct selection tool and my arrow. I can make him bigger inside the box. Drop him down. I can even color the box or the circle in with a different color. Watch this. Window, color, swatches. So let's say I want to put a blue background behind him, or a green background behind him, or a black background behind him. I kind of like the black. But if I were going to do that, I would definitely go back into my Photoshop file and clean up all the white stuff around his jacket. Or I can just leave it with no fill and maybe put a different colored stroke. Maybe I could do a red stroke and bump it up. Let's open up the stroke palette real quick. See the options we have. You can drop the little type of stroke. You can do dots. You can do dashed lines, slash lines, all kinds of cool things. Double lines. So play around with that. You can even do, let's do this. This might be a cool idea. Dots, and then the gap color, we could do blue. There's so many things you could do in the stroke palette. So I don't think dots is going to work. So I'm just going to stick with a solid, and I'm going to go with black instead of red. So it adds a little interest. It's not just the image that's on the front cover. It's a little bit different. And this page probably would take me quite a while to finish because I need to fill the page. But it's a start. Getting the information on the page and moving forward. So the cover story is a 2-page spread. I also know it's about Barry. So let's go ahead and copy the title and Barry. Get rid of that. Page numbers, we need to definitely add page numbers. So I'm going to paste that information. I'll keep the same style, keep it consistent. Maybe make it a little bit bigger. And I'm doing that by clicking and holding on the corner and then holding Command Option Shift at the same time. And that allows you to resize text proportionately. Just like that. Command Option Shift, click and drag. Where's my margins? All right. All right, so I don't want him in a circle, so I'm going to delete that. And I'm just going to go ahead and place Barry, the original Photoshop file. Where's he at? There he is. Right there. So you can reuse the same photos, but I definitely want to add some different photos to this because I got 2 pages to fill and I don't know what I'm going to fill it with. Text-wise, I've still got to find an article on Barry or write an article on Barry. So let's say we use him over here. But I'm not going to go across the page with him. I'm just going to go to the actual fold. So I'm just pulling in that edge. So now we've got that. From this point, I'm going to get my text tool, and I'm going to draw a text box, the width of the page, and I'm going to give it 3 columns. I'm going to do the same thing on the second page. Leave a little bit of space at the top. We don't want our columns to start at the very top, so just leave it a little bit of space, just like a regular magazine would. Text box, 3 columns, or I could use 4 columns. I probably stick with 3 because I'm going 3 on the other side. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it with placeholder text. Just don't, this is not what you will be doing, but just for an example. In fact, yeah, do the same thing here. Type placeholder text. All right, so there's also something I might want to do. I might change my mind. I'm going to copy that circle over. I'm going to paste it right there. And I'm going to put some text wrap. Window, text wrap. I want to push the text away from the circle. So I click on the circle part of the text wrap right here. And I can bump it up to make it fit. or make it work. Circle text wrap is kind of hard to work with because you end up with these little bits and pieces that don't work so well. So there's always the option of doing the wrap around the bounding box, then it wraps around the square. So that's up to you. I kind of want to do the circle. In fact, I might even just pull that circle all the way to the edge, maybe make it bigger. So when you push W, you don't worry about that edge. It's not going to show on the print. It's going to be cut off. So now we've got this kind of cool looking thing. Let me place another image in here because I do have a couple on my desktop. I'm clicking on the actual circle, going to File, Place. I don't have to get rid of the image that's in there already. I can just replace it. So let me find another picture of Barry. There's a nice one when he was young. So now I've got a different image. I can also change the stroke. I can do whatever I want. I might even get rid of that stroke. No color. And just use the actual image. But this is about what's Barry up to in 2020. So this article on this part of this article on this side of the page might be when he was younger, maybe a little bit of history about him or something like that. All right, so I'm going to walk you through page numbers real quick. Real easy. You don't have to do any other master pages, just the page numbers. So I'm going to go to Window Pages, and I'm going to click on A Master. There's nothing on the A Master. If I open it up by double-clicking, you'll see there's nothing on the A, and it is a 2-page spread. So what I'm going to do, push W to see my guides. I want a page number at the left of this page, and I want a page number at the right of this page. So to do that, all I have to do in my master page, this just eliminates having to do it on every single page. I'm going to get my text tool. Let me zoom in a little bit. Text tool. And it could be just a number. Let's say it could be anything. So I'm not going to type anything. If I want to put page, I can do that, space. But at this point, I need to go to Type, Insert, where is it at? Current page number. So insert special character, markers, current page number. And it's going to put the letter A, and you'll see what happens in just a minute. I'm sure you've all done this in one of Miss Fisher's classes. Oops. Oh, come on. Please don't die on me. I haven't saved my document. Okay, we're back. All right, so I'm just moving it down to the margin, and I'm going to copy that page number over to the other side, click on the page, and paste. Now I'm going to want to right align that, so I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to go up here and right align. So now if you look at the 2 pages, the 2 master A pages, they've got a page A on this side and a page A on this one. Now when I go to my magazine, you'll see the page numbers are there, but you can't move them because they're on a master page. You can't see this one because there's an ad on top of it. You don't need a page number on an ad page. You also can't see that one because it's covered with graphics and colors. Well, it didn't even go on that one. I wonder why. Oh, it's on the other side. That's right. Hold on a minute. It's right here. So if I didn't want that to show, I would put something over the top of it, or I can disable the master page from that page, but that's not really necessary. The page number is there. The page number is there. Page number is here, which I'm going to have to adjust my layout to accommodate. and I'll pull both of these text boxes up to be the same. So when we look at it, it looks just like a magazine should look. And we have another article page. It's got page 6 on it already. This has got page 7. Once I fit this ad into this space, I'm going to go all the way to the bleed line. I'm going to fit proportionately. It covers up that page number. And same with this one. So we're getting there. We're almost done. It's going to take a little work to find some information, but that shouldn't be too difficult. Any questions so far? Nope. Man, y'all are easy. All right. So I don't need this. I'm going to get rid of the trash that I don't need. I'll keep that as a reference for the table of contents. I also need to figure out what I'm going to do on this second article. It could be anything. What's Barry up to in 2020? Really, I don't even think Vogue is the right magazine for this. It might be Entertainment Weekly or something. I'm not sure. But that's the fun part, figuring out how to make it all fit together. The video in the assignment is a really good one. I highly recommend that you watch it. You've probably seen it before in different classrooms, but video layout and composition, really good video. It kind of gives you a little refresher on how to align things, how to use white space effectively, or negative space, things like that. So let's see. Let's go to Safari and let's type in Barry Manilow. Story. Let's see, Mary Manilow, singer-songwriter biography. That might be cool. So this is it right here. I mean, this might be big enough to fill the whole thing. I might get rid of these little headers. So let's grab all this text. Are you not going to let me copy? There we go. All right, so let's select all the text. All right, let's just copy that first. Go back into InDesign. Double click in our text box. Oh, come on. Text, text, text. There we go. Select all. Delete. Paste. Select all. I don't want it to be 12 point. We can go as low as 9 point if we want, but I wouldn't go over 12. So if you need more space, you can go as low as 9 for your point size on your text. If you need to fill space, you can push it up to 12, but I don't want to see this. I see this a lot, believe it or not. They'll have text that's that big because they want to fill the space in a hurry, but that's not good. So we want to keep it under 12, but no lower than 9. So I'll probably go 10. 10's a good size. Also depends on the magazine that you're targeting. This probably would be targeted to an older audience, so I might even bump it up to 12 because older people have poor vision sometimes, especially me. So 12 might be better for me to read. But think about things like that too. So there's one piece of the article, and I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to grab some more. It's not letting me copy everything I need. Yeah, there we go. I'm just pulling it down. Come on. Everything I need is in this one article. Copy. Go to the back, the end here, and push return and paste. I'm going to delete this column, these columns, because I want to flow this text into these columns. So in order to do that, see this little red cross? It's telling me there's a whole lot more in this that's not showing. So I'm going to click on that little plus sign, and it's loading my cursor. Push my space bar to move over. I'm now going to draw a box to fill the page, just like the other one. And it's going to automatically flow all that text into that new text box. But like I said before, if you're doing columns, it's much easier to read in columns than it is like this. That just looks amateur. So I'm going to click on the text box, and I'm going to give it 3 columns, just like the other side. And now I'm going to have to go in, and I'm going to have to figure out how to clean it up. So this stuff, read next, that's not necessary. Delete. Now I'm going to have to go in and format all of this text, and maybe career highlights. Let's make it bold. And let's make it maybe a little bit bigger. We could even make it red. Bringing emphasis to the different paragraphs. Now, if I want to make all of these little headlines the same as that, I'm just going to highlight one to start with, and I'm going to get my eyedropper, and I'm going to click on the red. Automatically does it, right? Now, while I still have my eyedropper selected, I can go in and highlight the next one, and it's automatically going to do it. Let's scroll over a little bit. We've got another one here. Same thing. Synopsis. Same thing. So once you've got that eyedropper sample, you can do it on all of your headlines at this, individually. You can also make his style, a character style. So Barry Manilow made the whole world sing in his 1970s hits. I write the songs Mandy and Copacabana at the Copa. So let's cut that. I'm going to use that for like a little introductory piece to my article. Paste. Select all. I'll make it not as big as the headline, but not as small as the text. All right. Push it to the margin. I'm going to have to work it. Barry Manilow made the whole world sing. Return with his 1970s hits. I write the songs Mandy and Copacabana. I don't know, something like that. Playing around with the text, making it fit. I might have to move him, possibly. I can always move him out of the way and pull that edge in. Cut off some more of his arm. So I'm making a space for this little headline here. Well, not headline, it's more of a sub-headline to where it's going to fit and it's going to work for me. Push that over a little bit more, down a little bit because I can't see the word Copa. Pull that in to get it out of the other page. So what's Barry up to in 2020? And then we have a little subheader. Then we go into the actual text. We don't want to leave things like this by themselves. Those are called orphans or widows, some people call them. It's the correct name is orphan. So if I want to tighten this up or get this off the line all by itself, I'm going to select that whole paragraph, and I'm going to play with the tracking. I'm going to make it smaller. -10 tracking brought it right up to that line. I could also make it or more space in between the words to push more words onto that. So that's the kind of thing that you would do at the very end. If you need more space, you can subtract the tracking, or if you need to fill space, you can select this whole thing. Let's see what's going on here. Hold on. Do we have any extra stuff? It looks like the whole article finishes here. So if I want to fill the rest of this column right here, I can literally select all, and I can push the tracking to be wider. to fill that spot. I can also adjust the leading. I can adjust the font size. I can do all kinds of things in the character palette to format that text. That's probably as far as I want to go, because if I go to 30, it's going to push it off the page. There's too much information. You can see the red cross. So I'm going to go back to 20. And it doesn't look too bad. You don't want to go over probably 20 with tracking, or under -20 for tracking. I could also adjust things like this to get rid of that double space before or in between the little headers and the actual text. Let's get my space bar, move it over. So now we've got a little bit here. Select all. Let's push it up one more time. It's getting there. I could also make his picture bigger. I could make, I could do all kinds of things to push it, to get that text to where it goes all the way to the bottom. Still seeing that red cross. Still seeing that red cross. So there's that should work pretty good. So there's my article. I've got my headline. I've got my little intro sub-headline, a couple of pictures. This picture probably would be replaced. It depends on what the article says. So I will definitely read the article, find out what it's about, find images that correlate with the story. But that's the cover story done right there. Got the cover, the ads are already in. Then we have to find one more article. It could be on how to grow beans. It doesn't matter. It just needs to kind of fit the theme of your magazine. So if you're doing a food magazine, it could be about food or a certain chef, something like that. But it's all about the layout. It's all about making it align, using your margins, making it look beautiful. And I know you all can do it because I've seen some of your work recently is kicking butt. All right, so I know this is not good. I got this little bit down here that's off the page. It's going to get cut off. So Atlas, I don't even know what Atlas is. So I'm just going to fill proportionally one more time. Push W, now it's gone. W. So when we finish with the magazine, it looks somewhat complete. That's kind of a hokey looking cover, but I would totally work a lot harder on this. And I'd use a reference. I would, if it comes to duplicating something, that's fine, as long as you're doing it in InDesign and you're not just placing an already done magazine on the page. That was not actually planned. I never ever would have used blue behind the red, but it did kind of work. But I can see his arms cut off right here, so I got to fix that. Pull that image all the way to the bleed. There we go. And like I say, cleaning up these edges. It looks like he's got fur on him or something. But I've got all the pieces. I've got the date, the issue number. I've got the cover mentions, a barcode, a little bit of extra here. You can do anything you want on this thing. So make sure you fulfill all of the requirements and the pieces that belong on each page. And it's all in the template, because that rubric is very harsh. It's very harsh grading rubric. So do you feel like this is a little less difficult than what you felt the other day when we were talking about it? Or is this terrifying you? Let's see what I think. It's cool. Oh, good. This is helpful. The demo really helps out. Wonderful. Wonderful. And it doesn't have to be you know, too complicated. Let's go back into the assignment real quick. So let's say the cover. This is a complicated cover. There's a lot of work put into that. Lots of different font choices. I love the way that they bring emphasis with a big red circle. But there's a lot going on. They've got little icons, all kinds of different things. This is a simple cover. It's just got a easy picture, a quick logo, and some text. This one's more complicated because they've got different design, different elements in there, lots of different imagery. This is beautiful. I could see some of y'all doing this one. Lots of different colors, different font styles. Very, very pretty. It all matches with her. So little pops of yellow throughout the design bring attention to things that it's supposed to bring attention to. And this is kind of similar to what I did, except the typography is awesome. And I could totally see somebody doing something like this. So look at some great resources online. Download the publication template. This is due on Tuesday, May 12th. So I'll go ahead and schedule a Collaborate session for Monday. If anybody needs any assistance, we can do that on Monday. I can take a look at your stuff, give you some feedback. Like I say, you're also welcome to email me anytime. So any questions before we conclude this session? Sweet. Also, don't forget, we do have a place that if you've got the Adobe Suite at home, which you all do, Adobe Exchange is a great place to find tutorials for any of the programs that you have. Oh, happy Mother's Day to you too. So Adobe Exchange. You can find all kinds of great tutorials for InDesign, Illustrator, Photoshop. Don't forget, if you're going to take summer classes, to go ahead and get registered. Ms. Fisher should have sent you an email. And if you're not going to take summer classes, you really should. You're welcome, Ellen. Hope you're feeling better. I know it's a difficult time right now. I do love these sessions, though. They really kind of bring us all together. Don't forget to check your blackboards. Got any questions or any concerns, please let me know. Wednesday is the absolute deadline for all assignments. There will be no exceptions because Thursday I have to have my grades into the administrators. So Wednesday, absolute drop deadline for anything you're missing. So get that done. There will be late points, of course, taken off for anything that's late. But we're being a little bit easier on the students because of the situation that we're all in. So just let me know if you have any questions. And if there are no more questions today, I'm going to let you all go. Have a wonderful day. It's beautiful outside. And everybody be careful. Take care of yourselves. Bye.